2 down and 14 to go. I'm talking about the Republican primary race, where now, in addition to Rick Perry dropping out of the campaign, Wisconsin Governor, perennial loser and job destroyer Scott Walker has dropped out of the 2016 Republican presidential primary campaign. He got no traction. He made no impact. The early polling showed that there was some support for Scott Walker, but once he opened his mouth as part of the campaign, he ended up polling under 1/2 of a percentage point after the most recent debate. I told you about that yesterday. He was scheduled to do all sorts of fundraisers this week, including in New York, in Washington, in New Hampshire, but it is not happening, Lewis. The donations drying up after he made gaffe after gaffe on the national stage, including saying he would consider building a wall along the Canadian border. I guess, Lewis, he's taking some time to, I don't know, hang out more with the Koch brothers. I'm sorry, I mean his family.
Yeah, he really strikes me as the biggest piece of crap that was on that stage, possibly one of the biggest pieces of crap in the country. His sole mission in life is to make sure that the rich get richer, and, on the backs of the poor and middle class.
Maybe what happened, Lewis, is that the campaign was becoming too much a distraction from his full-time job of destroying the Wisconsin economy, and the Koch brothers want him back where he can really make an impact.
Yeah, that could be what's happening here. You would have thought with Koch brother backing, he could have just swept this whole thing, but I guess it's not enough.
I don't know if people remember this, but back in April, I was out at a conference in Las Vegas. Sam Seder, host of The Majority Report, was also out in Las Vegas, and I was interviewed on his show, and we were talking about the 2016 Republican field, and he said he thought Scott Walker was going to be the eventual Republican nominee. I didn't think so at the time, and at least I don't remember agreeing with that at the time. And I haven't checked over the last 24 hours, Lewis, whether Sam has commented on this, but I would be very curious. Sam seemed very confident that Scott Walker would be the guy. And it did make a lot of sense in to the extent that Scott Walker is a Republican governor, which tends to be one of the better positions to be in if you're running on the Republican primary side, in terms of the backing he had, as you mentioned, from the Koch brothers, in terms of the success he's had destroying the economy of Wisconsin. That always scores many points with you. If you can either destroy companies or state economies or kill jobs, you're very well placed to be the Republican nominee.
And he does have that aura about him, right? He does have that presidential aura. It's true, as ridiculous as it sounds.
Well, I don't think he has. He has a presidential aura by the standards of right-wing lunatics.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Still, look at George Bush. It's like the same type of aura.
There is another upside to Scott Walker dropping out, which is that maybe they'll allow Bobby Jindal to join the big kids debate as opposed to the second-tier debate, and that should be funny, if nothing else.
He'll probably be the next person to drop from the race, right? Let's be honest here.
He very well may be. I think it could be Jindal, but it also could be... well, no, I think Jindal is a top candidate. I hate to say it because he's actually one of the more reasonable guys within the context of the Republican Party, but Rand Paul is doing so poorly that he may be out sooner than we imagine.
Still managed to land on the big kids table at that debate, while Jindal is still, everyone who was in that first debate might as well just drop out right now.